Hi, everybody, and I hope everybody's having a wonderful day, more or less. I just wanted to come on here and do a small video about weight loss. For those that may or may not know who have followed me, I myself have lost a total of 103 pounds. But I have put some of that weight back on with the pandemic and I've become a little less active. But I have started to go back and change my diet and the way I eat a little bit more nutritious, cut back some on the comfort foods. Um, Primarily, what I wanted to come on here and talk about is for those that are trying to lose weight. Um, One of the first things you're going to think right off the top of your head, anything high calorie, anything sweet, um, high carb, whatever the case may be, you're going to think in your mind, oh, I can't have it. That's going to cause me to put the weight back on. Incorrect. You have to be careful with low carbing. Low carb is fine, but you got to know when to cut it off. I'll tell you why. If you are not careful, again, I am not a doctor. This is not a sponsored ad. This happened to me about 2.5 years ago. Low carbing, if you are not careful, will lead to a kidney stone. I had one on the minor side. It was painful. It hurt. I dealt with the after effects for about 3 weeks. I couldn't drink coffee. There was a lot of things my system could not intake. Um, so be careful when it comes to low carbing. I myself, the way that I started losing weight is I started off on a blood type diet. I didn't know what a, I didn't know what that was. Keep in mind, I also didn't know what my blood type was. So here I am, almost 30 years old. I go to this person to help me lose weight, and along with homeopathic, you know, remedies and things like that, because I had issues with my eye. So when she took my stats, 321 weight, 152 over 103 blood pressure. So she asked me, have you ever heard of somebody named Peter D'Adamo? I said, no, I haven't. Who is that? Well, this is a man that has a book out called Eat Right for Your Blood Type. It does exist. It's out there if you guys ever want to look into it. She said, Steve, do you know what your blood type is? I said, no, unfortunately, I don't. I never found out. So I went to a lab and I had some blood work done. And about 4 or 5 days later, my results came back. For years now, keep in mind, I thought I was AB. That wasn't the case. I'm actually the universal donor. I'm O positive. So when I found that out, she gave me a paper with all the foods that O type should eat and what you shouldn't eat. I found out that people with O types are gluten sensitive. They shouldn't eat any type of wheat products. Well, there's going to be a little bit of a problem there because one, I like wheat bread. Also, my mom being of Sicilian ancestry, I grew up with spaghetti, pastas, and things like that all my life. I never knew about being gluten sensitive. So I did start that out, didn't really agree completely with the diet. So then somehow I incorporated a little bit of the Atkins diet in with it to a point, and somehow the South Beach. So I took those three diets and combined it. Also, keep one other thing in mind on that blood type diet. People with different blood types should eat certain foods, and there are certain foods you can't. So basically, in addition to those three diets, I also wound up eating blood type A diet, which Keep in mind, people with O blood types should have red meat in their diet, anywhere from 3 to 4 ounces, about the size of the palm of your hand. No, you don't have to do that. One, meat is expensive. Uh, and second, if you want any type of red meat, just get a good hamburger. Buy you some good hamburger, decent hamburger meat. You'll be fine if you want to go that route. If not, consider seafood or poultry. That would be good. Pork. There's other methods of protein and iron. You can get that out of beans. There's many cream of wheat, even though that's a breakfast food. That is also high in iron. If you ever get a chance to look at the nutrition fact, you'll see that. So basically, I was working on those 4 diets, but I wound up shifting to more of type A blood type than I did the O. And what I was basically doing is I would have 2 vegetables, a starch, which would be rice, potatoes, or anything carb, and some type of meat. Sometimes I wouldn't even do a meat. I would just do the vegetables and the carb. And there's times that I did just plain vegetables. And if I wanted any dessert, I'd have a little fruit, and that would be it. Any in between snacks, I would eat like nuts, cashews, peanuts, things like that. For example, I have a can here. I'm big on mixed nuts, cashews, hazelnut. Love them to death, and healthy. But what I want to share with all of you, follow your diet 6 days out of the week. On Sunday, you can eat whatever you want, but keep in mind, do it in moderation. Here's a good example. Whenever I would get a hankering for some ice cream, and I've shared this with you guys before, grab a tablespoon, go to your freezer, pull out your ice cream, take the lid off, get that, and get a heaping tablespoon of that ice cream. And that's all you eat. That's 3, maybe 4 bites of ice cream. Guess what? That's going to cancel out your desire for something sweet. For those that say, oh, but it's chocolate, it's candy, I can't eat it, I can't have it. Wrong. Yes, you can. You want a piece of chocolate? That's okay. Grab a Hershey's candy bar, whatever you like. Tear off a little piece, a couple bites. Eat it. Eat it slow. Let your brain know that you're getting it. A couple of bites is not going to hurt you. There is nothing wrong being on a diet and having a little sweet, because guess what? Your body at some point is going to want something sweet. It will happen. That's what happened to me. The way that I found that out is I was riding in the car with my dad, and I gave up, I basically had to reteach myself how to eat. Gave up all soda. March 29, 2004, no more soda. The only thing I drink now is like seltzer waters and, things that have 0 calories, 0 sugar. I drink that type of thing, like Buble and Polar seltzers and that type of drink. I'm riding in the car with my dad, and I noticed I felt pretty bleh. I didn't know why. Keep in mind, at that point, I had given up all sugar. What wound up happening is my blood sugar dropped. Thank goodness I told my dad about it. He did turn and look, are you all right? I said, oh no, I feel a little off. I said, it feels funny. And so he reaches in his pocket, says, here, Steve, here's a couple pieces of candy. Have this. Praise Lord, he had those 2 pieces of candy in his pocket. I put the first one in my mouth. I dissolved it, didn't chew it. The second one, I waited a few minutes. I had the second. Within the first 20, 25 minutes, I started to feel better. Then I realized that my blood sugar had plummeted. And you don't ever want that feeling to happen. It is a awful, terrible feeling. You get to where you feel like you want to faint, but thank God I was sitting down in a car. I wasn't standing. So, bottom line is, if you have any phobias or heebie jeebies, oh, you can't eat this, oh, you can't have that when you're on a diet, yeah, you can, but you just do it in a lesser amount. Like I said, try to stay away from anything with a lot of high fructose corn syrup in it, especially the two together. That's a weight gain inhibitor right there. There's nothing, but we all have to have some sugar in our diet. We do have to have some amount of carbs in our diet. I found out in my case, I've got to have right around 60, 65 in my diet, in that ballpark. But you gotta know how to balance it out. That's the secret when it comes to a diet. But I thought I would come on here and share that with you, for those of you that are trying to figure out what to do or how to go on a diet. All I know is that system worked for me. And of course I walked. That also helped me, take off the weight. And I will say this in addition, if you do hit a plateau on your weight, you might stay there a week, 2 weeks. Don't give up. That happened to me. For 2 weeks, my weight stayed the same. It wouldn't do anything. And I found out that's my body trying to adjust. So keep that in mind. Those are just a few tips of what I did to take off the weight. And it does work. I'm glad all of you could tune in and watch this segment. I'll see you guys upcoming. I'm not sure what's going to come out, but be on the lookout for another video real soon, and I'll see you guys next time. Hope you guys have a good one. Bye.